Y'all, Mercury retrograde almost got me. It almost got me. I almost forgot to turn on my microphone. And I already had started recording. I was like, oh no. Anyway. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by Bronx. This is Tarot Talk. These are Tarot Things, and I'm your host, Boogie down Bronx, and I'm here to take care of the Sagittarius, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This reading can resonate for you if you have Sagittarius as a sun, moon, rising, Venus, north node, or south node sign. All right. Quick shout out to you guys. Starting the September monthlies, and shout out to my Patreon. I am doing extended readings for whichever zodiac signs do the best, has the most views. And that's what I'm going to kind of do from now on. So probably going to be like the top 3 signs that get the most views for the month. You will get an extended reading on my Patreon. So run up those views and subscribe to the Patreon. Also for other exclusive content that I do not post on YouTube. Alrighty. So let's get into the Sag reading. Hopefully you all are doing well for Virgo season retrograde. I wonder how it feels because Sagittarius is square Virgo, which means Virgo and Sagittarius are not really that compatible. There's tension. There's conflicting beliefs. And so you may feel a bit of tension during Virgo season, but nothing that you can't overcome. So let's flip over your cards and see what is the blunt truth that you need to hear at this time for Sagittarius. Daddy issues. Reminder that you are always on the right path. Interesting. So let's look at these daddy issues here. Can we clarify daddy issues for Sagittarius? Can we clarify daddy issues for Sagittarius? And reminder, you are always on the right path. Mental health check. So for some of you, you have some issues in correspondence to the father figure, whether they were absent or present. Protect your peace and mental health check came out. So with that being said, I feel like for some of you, you may have a hard time knowing when it's time to slow down, when it's time to stop. And I don't know why I'm getting, some of you may have Capricorn placements or a Capricorn father figure or influence over your life. So it could be that some of you just have this obsession with feeling like you always need to be doing more, always need to be on the right path, always need to be searching. Very much Sagittarian issue. Sagittarian is always concerned about what is next. Grass is greener. I need more. I need to expand, right? But for some of you, it is a deeper issue that is reflected in your, in something you did not receive from a father, or a father figure that was just very overbearing or always telling you that you need to work and you need to be progressing, you need to be moving forward. And so mentally, you may just push yourself, trying to get to the right path, always trying to get to the next steps in life. All right. But, yeah. So hold on, y'all. Let me check something real quick. Sorry, y'all. I had to double check something on my phone. Listen, I don't play with these retrogrades, okay? Because every time, I never have any problems with my audio, with my camera, nothing like that. But for some reason, with retrograde, well, not some reason, I know why. There's always some type of inconvenience. But anyway, let's get into it, Sag. Let's see what's going on here with you at this time with daddy issues, and what do you need to focus on right now? What does Sagittarius need to hear, focus on, work on, do, not do? Tell us. What is Sagittarius? What's the messages for Sagittarius at this time? You have unrequited or unbalanced. Now, retrograde is in Libra, starting in Libra, ending in Virgo. So it is really emphasizing for all of us where there is unbalance in our life. It will work out. Interview. Light or color hair. Let's see what else for Sag. You have move on. Crying release. All right. So very similar actually to the last reading I did for Sag I know that was a while ago. Some of you have a water sign that you're still trying to move on from, or you need to be moving on from. Water sign, or a water sign is of significance. Now, here you already know the answer. Stop asking on this deck. And then on my deck, you have stop searching for external answers. So, like I was telling you guys in the last Sag reading, I was telling you that many of you have this problem with being able to fully trust yourself because you were raised in an environment where you could have had parents that always were telling you what to believe in, what to think. And now, as you get older, it's really hard for you to develop your own mindset, develop your own ideas, and have decisiveness and know exactly what it is that you want, and just trusting yourself, not always needing to look for answers and look for other people to tell you what you should do, who you are, where you need to go. Okay. And so we have here, let me see, we have healing, we have it will work out. For many of you, there is still some lingering of an ex or a past love or somebody that you need to really come to terms with the ending here, or understand that whether it was your fault or not, it's time to move forward. It's time to move on from that. And it's time to put yourself in a new place, okay? And not worry so much about what happened, why it happened. It happened, all right? Some of you haven't even cried over something that you've lost. Crying or release. You have not cried and let go, or fully admitted to yourself that you are sad about something that has happened to you, okay? So let's see, what does Sagittarius need to stop searching for answers about? Stop seeking external answers about at this time? Your life purpose. What is my life purpose? That is the grand question, right? What is my life purpose? What does Sagittarius need to stop obsessing over, thinking about, ask for help? Completion or closure. Okay. Could be something in regards to an air sign as well, a water sign with air placements, air sign, water placements, something like that. But for many of you, there is just this constant rumination of making the right decisions and trying to do what's right, and always trying to figure out, where am I supposed to be? But Spirit is trying to remind you, you are already where you need to be. You have everything you need right now. Everything is right in front of you. It's just you needing to utilize what you already have. All right. It's not always that you need to keep searching and searching and searching for something so grandiose and far away from you. But your life purpose is right where you are. Your life purpose is utilizing what you have to the best of your ability. It's your free will. All right. It's about your decisions. It's not always about like trying to avoid conflict, avoid, you always just want to do things so you avoid pain. You can't avoid pain. Okay. You can't. So some of you are trying to approach your life purpose from the point of view of, I don't want to ever be hurt. And to get to your life purpose, maybe there has to be some type of pain or disappointment, or, something that gets you there. So you trying to avoid pain, and you trying to avoid situations that end in sadness, it prevents you from living your life. Okay. You have asked for help. Some of you do need some guidance from maybe like friends, a therapist, or if you're feeling lost or anything like that. Some of you may have an interview or an internship that is coming up that will aid in your life purpose, or maybe there's something that comes up where you can like practice, sharpen your skills more about things you want to do. Others of you are could be just really ruminating over closure that you want from somebody, or you feel like you need closure in order to move on. You don't. You do not. That is an illusion, to think that you need closure to move on. But Again, you guys, many of you are in this place right now and you're like really stressing out about the fact that you have not found your life purpose. You don't know why you are here. You're like, what am I doing? Always trying to think that you need to be, something has to be like significant for you to be living your life purpose. Like you have to be a millionaire, that you got to be having these huge major strides in some way. So this is just a period where you may be feeling a bit uncomfortable because you're like, nothing's really like moving, or nothing's really pushing me, or why? Just why? Like the big why question. Why am I here? What am I really doing with my life? Anything else for Sag in regards to this before we go into some tarot? Anything else for Sag? We have single. Some of you are newly single, or maybe you are going into this place where this is a time meant for you to be more independent. For some of you, you didn't know what your life purpose is, or maybe maybe you have let somebody else become your identity around your life purpose, and now that that person is no longer in your life, or there's been some situations where friendships have moved around, romantic situations, families moved around, and you've developed a lot of your identity around these people. So now you're kind of like, I don't really know who I am without people, or without the people I've had. So it is bringing up some inner child trauma of feeling like I need to cling to something. I need to cling to somebody. I have to have something to believe in. But I feel like this is a time to really just believe in yourself instead of trying to find somebody or something outside of yourself. Invest in yourself. Do things that you've always wanted to do. Try things, passions. Like, it's time to really ask yourself, what does Sagittarius want? What do I want to do with my life? I make my own life purpose, essentially. I make my own life purpose by living in my truth, right? Sagittarius is literally about my truth, not your truth, my truth. So some of you have to take some time to develop more of your own truth besides what your parents' truth was, your friends, your ex. Many of you have not taken time to do that because you just don't spend enough time by yourself or living for yourself. Or recently you've had a loss and now you have no choice but to kind of be more independent. All right, so let's see what's coming towards Sagittarius in September. Tell us more surrounding Sagittarius and their life purpose. What is coming towards Sagittarius in September and their life purpose? What's coming towards Sagittarius? We have the Judgment. So many of you are going through a spiritual awakening. And you will figure out where you're supposed to be. But it's going to come from you also being honest with yourself about what did not work out. Three of Cups upright. Sagittarius tends to focus a lot on the bright side and wants to only focus on the positives of the situation. But sometimes only focusing on the positive means being in denial of the truth. It means being in denial of the pain and the issues at hand and what you really need from the situation. It's not enough to just be like, oh, that didn't work out. Let's dig deeper into that. Let's understand why. Why didn't that work out? And what can I do to make sure that I have more fulfilling situations from there moving forward? All right, what else for Sagittarius? Fool card. To be honest, I feel like many of you are actually getting like this fresh start to really be free, pack light, and do your thing. Now, let me clarify this World card in reverse. Why is the World card in reverse? Feels like there's some unfinished business here. Why is this World card in reverse for Sagittarius? World card in reverse. Okay. I don't know. I feel like for some of you, feel like you missed opportunities and you're having regrets. You feel like you've missed opportunities and you're having regrets. You feel like there's more you could have done, more you could do. And for some of you, you just feel like your life is over. Even if you're really young. I don't know why some of you are feeling like that. I think because you're just in a place where you don't have it all figured out, you're disappointed. You feel like either that you should be further by now, or that you've missed out on some things you were supposed to do, or you don't have a plan. Two of Wands in reverse. Or that there was a period of time where you don't have the finances to do what you want to do, or you didn't, and you missed out on things. Page of Wands reverse, you didn't have the expertise, the knowledge, all this and that. A lot of like just pining over this and what you could have been doing and what you should have done and could have whatever. But with this Judgment card, and we're in retrograde period, there is going to be some past things that kind of come back to you that show you that you still have an opportunity to get into it if you want to. But other than that, there is no point of looking to the past of things you should have done, and you were like, oh, if I would have chose this person instead, I would be here. Or if I would have went to school, or if I would have never met this one, or if I would have whatever. There's a lot of thinking that you could have changed your path. And you're like, I feel like I made the wrong choice in some way, or like, if I didn't make this choice, I'd be here. If I did make this choice, I'd be here. And Spirit wants you to know that is just an illusion. You are where you need to be. If you'd known better, you would have done better at the time. And we all have things that we say, oh, I wonder where my life would be if I would have done this instead of this. But Spirit is saying, no, don't look at it that way. You are exactly where you should be, where you need to be, and use what you have right now. Use the path that you are given now. You can't go back and change it anyway. And you're where you're supposed to be anyway, because the universe, Spirit, whatever you believe in, already knew the decisions you were going to make. And when you're walking towards your life purpose, there's literally multiple paths to get to the same place. So doesn't matter what path you would have taken, you're still on the right one. It's just the level of difficulty can be different depending on the decisions we make, if they're not always the wisest. But literally, you're where you need to be. So stop ruminating and obsessing and trying to pick a path where you're like, oh, I'm not on the right path. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not in my life purpose. I shouldn't be here. Keep on walking. And when it's time for you to detour, when it's time for you to change, it's time for you to move, you will feel that, and you'll know when it's time for you to walk in a different direction. All right, you have surrender low self-esteem. Surrender to what is. Some of you are in a situation where you cannot change. You cannot completely change your situation right now. And just because you can't change it doesn't mean that it's wrong. That's a deep one. Surrender to what is. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change the situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. And at the bottom is surrender denial. So you don't have to pretend that you like your situation. You don't have to pretend that it's exactly what you want. But when you cannot change it right away, accepting where you're at in your life. Like maybe you're not where you want it to be. Maybe you're not where your parents wanted you to be. Maybe you're not in that relationship yet. You don't have the finances yet. So what? We all have our own paths, and you have your own path, and you are where you need to be for that specific path. Okay? So let's do a few messages. Generator, manifestor, projector. Generator, Sagittarius. Generator, manifestor, projector, reflector. Okay. Generator, manifestor, reflector, or generator, manifestor, projector, reflector. Let's clarify the Tower and the Three of Swords. Yeah. So for many of you, you're having a big Tower moment about what you were holding on to, especially for you generators. Tower moment. You're seeing that what you've been holding on to, clinging on to, is no longer stable. Friendships, relationships, jobs. It's not bringing you the excitement you had thought, or it's like you're just having this realization that You cannot hold on to it anymore. And so therefore, parting ways from it. 3 of Swords, and there's pain there. There's a real big moment of like honesty for you, Sagittarius. All right, there's honesty. There's honesty, especially if you're a manifester. For you manifestors, it's a time to cut ties with the old ways of thinking, the old ways of being, what you don't want anymore. And try to think about, where can you really go from here? Okay, there's nothing you could have done to prevent the pain up until this point because you had to learn a lesson. But now it's a matter of, okay, I need to face my fears and ask myself, what is it that I'm not fully accepting and surrendering about my situation and my current circumstances, where I need to go? And projectors, 10 of Wands, you're almost to the end of a tough cycle. Projector Sagittarius, you're almost at the end of like carrying this burden, carrying this weight. You see the light at the end of the tunnel. Some of you are getting to the end of like something, whether that's a job or stress, something you're carrying. And then reflectors, healing, could be Aquarius energy. But many of you are in this healing process. So all these cards really tell a story for you guys, where it's like, there's a big wake up call moment where you're like, you have to kind of accept where you are, where you're at right now. And also accept that it may not be where you thought you'd be by now. It may not be where you want to be by now, but that's where you are. And it doesn't mean that you've done something wrong up until this point. You are exactly where you need to be. And you're having that realization that I have to work with what I've been given. And this is the life that I have. And it doesn't mean that I need to necessarily go out my way to change it. I just kind of need to accept where I'm at and work with that, instead of, especially generators, if you're frustrated, you're pushing. You're not supposed to be frustrated. That means you're pushing too hard. You're trying to change and initiate things. Manifestors, if you're angry, we want to get you to peace. We don't want you to be angry. Trying to be on this path where you have all this resistance here. And projectors, we don't want you to carry any burdens more than you need to be carrying. You don't really need to be carrying any burdens at all. But for some of you, you're realizing you're carrying burdens that have nothing to do with you. All you have to do is let it go. And just be lighter. Same for you reflectors. There's a healing process that you're going through and needing to allow yourself to actually accept the healing and feel it. Okay? But many of you are holding on to these dreams and these hopes that don't belong to you. These are other people's dreams, other people's wishes, other people's expectations that they've put on you, and you're like trying to live by them, and you feel like you're on your wrong path because other people expect you to act a certain way, be a certain thing, do a certain thing, and letting people know that, hey, I can't live up to your expectations. Like, I've never promised you these things. This is what you wanted from me. This is what I put on myself. And some of you think that means you're on the wrong path because you haven't met the expectations of others. But that's not true. That's why it's time to rewrite your story and actually destroy all those and really look at the visual of the reality of where you are and which expectations have been given to you that you did not ask for. So that's what we got for you, Sag. Thank you so much for watching. If this reading resonated for you, please let me know down in the comment down below. Like, comment, share, subscribe so the channel can thrive. I am at Tarot by Bronx on everything.